was, what happens when you're defending someone and they kind of imply that, yes, I have done this, or actually just tell you that they have done it? What would you do then?
Every person is allowed and has the right to put the prosecution to prove, and the prosecution, depending on whether a person's done it or not, have to prove the case against them, and they're entitled to a defence lawyer to put whatever questions he wants to the prosecution, especially say it relates to identification. He can cross-examine witnesses to say, well, are you sure you saw that person? Are you sure the identification's right? Are you sure it's the person you're referring to? Things of that nature. But I cannot allow, and no defence solicitor can allow a client to stand up in a witness box and not tell and tell a lie, which that defence solicitor knows to be a lie.
That's brilliant. We've run out of time. It's great having you down again, and you're here again tomorrow. Got to quickly look through my notes. Russell. Got Matthew here talking about family law tomorrow. Matthew who? I won't get Matthew on my sheet.
Matthew Entwistle.
So stay tuned in. Coming up very shortly, we've got Sarah Egan doing a drive time swap. We have loads of fun and features going in on that. Hope if anyone's been listening, they've got a lot of advice from this. And stay tuned in for what's coming up next. And thank you to Steve and Angelo. Thank you very much.
No, I've never done this sort of thing before, and I think it was sprung on me this morning. So no, I've never done anything like this before. No,
okay.
Never been in a radio station before, actually.
And how do you feel? Have you been nervous?
Yeah, I got nervous sort of about lunchtime, but it's because you don't know what questions are going to be asked of you, and you've got to really think on your feet, but we're used to that anyway as lawyers, so it's not too bad.
And do the solicitors of your firm, do they volunteer to come and do this every so often, or do you say, get over there?
We find with their arm up the backs, they volunteer, and we have to encourage sometimes, yeah. But they're usually fairly willing, eventually.
Chief Issues Clerk Rocket Ronnie Wilkinson's job is to transport legal documents, checks, whatever it takes to keep the firm running smoothly. With that in mind, today he's been asked to transport the boss's mum.
I'll see you later. Lovely lady, in her 80s, going out today. So on a Tuesday, I sometimes pick her up and take her, make sure she gets there all right. Then pick her up later at 3:30. If I'm really busy, I can't. Steve will do it himself.
All these extras.
So what's it today then?
Bring and buy sale.
Oh, it's bring and buy sale. Oh, right. No bingo today?
Do a little, possibly.
Possibly bingo later.
Possibly.
Running that window.
Is that a lovely day?
Isn't it, eh? Awful this morning. Freezing this morning when I left. Well, I'll take this coat off it.
How far away is the club then?
It's about a mile and a half. So.
It takes what?
Sorry?
10 minutes?
2 or 3 minutes, that's all, isn't it? So.
Yes. You go here every week, Edith? Yes. I come 3 times to this club. The other days I have dancing. So keeps you fit. Sometimes fit for nothing.
There's more dancing than John Travolta, this one.
And what's Ronnie like? Is he very nice picking you up each week? Very, very kind. I don't like to do without him.
It's all professional. Everything you do is professional. You're more professional than the professional.
Wythenshawe FM, it's good, because Fred says so.
It's the best radio station. Brilliant.
You nervous? To be quite honest, not at the moment. Probably when I actually sit down and he asks me the first question, yeah, probably will be. But at the minute, no, I'm okay. I think. No, I've had such a horrendous morning that just flying about from one place to another trying to get here, really. So, because there's nobody else from the office who could come over, so it ended up being a bit of a nightmare.
Back at Wythenshawe FM, and it's Matthew Entwistle's turn to give advice on divorce and family law to a DJ who either has a sense of humour or no sense of irony.
But in the meantime, we've got some of the darkness, and love is only a feeling. Right, so we'll go in with the divorce stuff.
Yeah.
Right, so you're okay with all these questions then?
Yeah, fine.
Right, there's nothing too taxing. Unless I just decide to completely throw you halfway through or something.
Don't worry.
Now, Matt, just one of the many areas that you deal with is divorce.
Yes, that's right.
Not a pretty area, I can imagine. The thing we've naturally focused on so far is the children. It might be totally off the bat here, but it's something you see in the media a lot of films like. There's no consummation of a marriage. Charity Dingle is a widow. Her husband, Chris Tate, died about 6 months ago.
Right.
She found out that she was pregnant with Chris's child. She's now had the child, but she's currently being charged with his murder.
Right.
Okay, with me so far.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, she's had the child, and Zoe, Chris's sister, has found out that that child is Chris's.
Yeah.
So now, they're trying to strike a deal. Zoe now wants custody of this child while Charity is in prison.
Right.
But Charity is only willing to give up the child if Zoe appeals for her at the case and tries to get her out of this sentence.
Right.
Where does it stand legally? So first of all, let's go with Charity. Where does she stand?
Well, it's an absolute minefield of a question, and I wish I watched Emmerdale slightly more than I actually do.
I mean, in relation to that sort of scenario, the whole idea of striking a deal is
Alright, then. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, cheers.
Cool, mate. Nice one for that, mate.
Right, I think today went okay. It was a little, well, by the time I actually sat down, I was a little bit nervous. First time I've done radio, so it went okay, I think.
And what about the questions you were asked? How did you find that?
The questions that I asked were actually quite well formed. The only one was the sort of Emmerdale farm question right at the very end, which is always a nightmare because obviously sort of soap operas are totally different to real life. I'd have preferred a sort of Coronation Street question as well, because I do tend to see that a little bit more.
Next time on Wythenshawe Law, 2 of the firm's most serious cases finally come to court, and senior advocate Dave O'Reilly decides he's had enough. If you'd like more information about the issues raised in this programme, go to our website, grenadatv.com, where you can get our fact sheet. It's 9:30 a.m. and senior advocate Dave O'Reilly is ready to go to Tameside Magistrates with client James Lawler. Mr. Lawler is facing serious charges.
The case that's already listed today, he has been charged in relation to drugs offences, possession of various drugs, and the Crown Prosecution Service are saying that he's also had the intent to supply those drugs. Today the court will decide in relation to the drugs offences whether they can be dealt with in the magistrates' court or they're so serious that only the Crown Court can deal with them, and therefore the case will have to go to the Crown Court in the future. I know James, yes, I've represented James before. Nice guy, but obviously he's in court for a reason. But he's a nice guy, and hopefully he'll speak to us when we get up there. Right, we've arrived at Tameside Magistrates now to represent James. I'm going to nip inside. James should be inside waiting at court, and I'm going to nip in and see if I can get some paperwork from the Crown Prosecution Service and try and decide with them and have a discussion with them as the best way to go ahead with the case today.
So there was some drugs charged that where I was staying at some flat, and the police raided the flat and kicked the door in. They found me and my girlfriend there, and they found a lot of drugs in the fridge.
Okay, and what will be the process today when you go in?
It'll be a not guilty. It'll be a not guilty plea anyway. And I would have thought it will get adjourned then for Crown.
Okay, and then what have you been in trouble in the past for something like this?
Not like this, no.
What's been your background? Just explain.
My background, it's always been driving.
Driving offence?
Yeah, driving whilst disqualified offences, yeah. I do have a bad form for it. I'm not healthy. It's not good.
Okay, and what could be the best outcome today?
Well, the best outcome would be to go home. But I don't know really. Depends. You know, there's numerous of things, but it's one of them. Just see how it goes though, yeah.
It takes several hours for James' plea to the magistrate to be heard.
Hiya.
How did it go?
Well, we've eventually got out of there. Both of the matters that James has had in there today have been adjourned. He's entered not guilty pleas to all of the drugs matters. Unfortunately, we had to wait around for a time to get that actually into court. In relation to the other one, that's been adjourned without James entering any kind of plea, because we want to carry out some investigations and have a look at the paperwork first to see whether the Crown Prosecution Service have any kind of case against him.
So what will happen from here now?
Well, from here we're back in 2 weeks in relation to the case where James hasn't entered a plea, for James to enter a plea. The other matter, the drugs case, has been adjourned for a number of weeks back at Tameside Magistrates so that it can eventually be committed to the Crown Court to be dealt with. The magistrates have decided today that it's so serious that only the Crown Court can deal with it. James has entered his not guilty plea, so it needs to be dealt with at trial at the Crown Court.
Well, what do you think of the outcome?
Well, same as like what David said there. You know, I knew what I was expecting today, so it's just the inconvenience of messing about, you know, sitting about and waiting. There's nothing worse than waiting, is there?
And what were you feeling when you were in court there?
I was feeling all sorts of things, to be honest with you, because to be honest with you, it's not right, if you know what I mean.
James Lawler doesn't know it yet, but it'll take more than 8 months and many more visits to court for the drugs charges to be dealt with. At the Exchange Barristers' Chambers in Manchester, there's a compensation case for the firm's personal injury department to deal with. An accident outside a cafe has left 70-year-old Ella Timmins with a hip injury and left the way open for a claim.
While we were looking at the menu board, I'd noticed this advertising board on. It had been blown over by the wind. It was lying flat on the floor, but it was moving with the wind. But it was well away from me. Well, I turned to my right to go back to the door of the Metro Cafe and fell like a stone.
So did you come in your car today?
Ella has come to the chambers with her solicitor, John Barstow, and discussed the state of play with the claim.
It's always useful to have a fresh pair of eyes looking over the case. At the end of the day, Mark is the person who would be presenting the case at trial. My job is to prepare the evidence, prepare the case for trial. I suppose I load the bullets into the gun and Mark's job is to fire them at trial.
It's potentially going to go to trial. We've got a trial date. There's always a possibility the case might settle before we go to trial. But in the event of a trial, our target would be to get the maximum amount of damages for the claimant.
Back with James Lawler, facing serious drug-related charges, he's at his sister's house, prior to his next court appearance.
And we saw you a couple of weeks ago, obviously, for the other offence that you were at court with. How have you been over the last couple of weeks?
Stressed out. Definitely stressed out. It's just it's there hanging over your head all the time, isn't it? And it's one of them, you just, no matter which way you look, you know, it's always there, so until it's dealt with, until it's done, I won't be my usual self.
And how's it affected your everyday life and obviously with your girlfriend?
Well, it's slowed me down and it's awkward at the minute because I seem to be snapping at everything and it's all down to this. It's court, I hate court, I hate it. Can't stand the place.
And what's it? I know you said this is kind of an unusual offence for you to be up for.
Yeah.
Has it kind of made you realise, oh God, I won't bother with this again?
Yeah, well, I'm definitely not getting any younger, am I? So it's time to call it a day, I think. Definitely.
Will the outcome of this and everything else kind of make your mind up if you like?
Yeah. Judgment day, yeah.
Right, everyone, I'm going. See you in a bit, yeah? Sure.
Back with personal injury, and solicitor Joanne Hinley is on her way to visit a client in a classic case of its type, compensation after tripping on a paving stone.
Yes, we're going to see a client of mine called Charles Morgan. His claim is at the stage where we're just finalising any damages that he should receive for his injuries following his accident. His accident happened about a year ago. The council did not have admitted liability in this case. So the only remaining issue is to see how much compensation he should get for his injuries. And today really was just going to give him some guidance as to how much he should be expecting to receive and how we actually value his case when we send all the documents through to the defendant's insurance company in this matter. Hello.
You all right?
Fine, thank you. Mr. Margaret, it's nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again.
Thank you.
You're cold.
The reason why we come today is because we're at one of the final stages of your claim. Okay, now the council have already admitted liability for your accident. Okay, so that's settled now. They are going to pay you some compensation.
Oh, good.
What we need to decide is how much compensation we think you should get for your injuries. Okay, now your compensation is split into two. There's special damages and there's general damages.
Well,
Now,
the accident was about a year ago. I walking the dog late at night. Tripped over a flag. Obviously hurt my knees and my hand. Went hold home. Obviously I was concerned. Went to the hospital, the local hospital. They took x-rays and gave me one of them stocking bandages, over the knee. Went home, came home, and the next day went to the doctors and he said I had a sprain on the right knee. And now this was, like I say, a year ago when this happened.
Okay, have you got any questions or anything? Do you understand everything I've said so far?
Yes.
If you've got any questions that you want to ask, just give me a ring at the office on Monday afternoon or whenever. Other than that, if you can send your authorities back if you agree with everything and you can make it clear what you want to do.
I will do that.
Okay then.
I will ring you on Monday afternoon.
Okay. All right then.
All right then, love.
Okay, it was nice to see you again.
And you.
And I'll speak to you
Thanks for all
soon.
your help.
Okay.
Take care.
And you.
So how did it go then, Joe? How was it?
It went quite well. I mean, we've given him his options and I think he's been well advised as to which option he should take. It's up to him now. We have to take his instructions in any event and we just need to wait and see what he says. Hopefully I'll speak to him Monday so I can get things wrapped up within the next few weeks anyway.
Where are we off to now?
We're going to go and have a look at where he's tripped. It's just round the corner. It's still there, like he said, so we can just go and have a look. It's for completeness, really.
It's the local council's responsibility to maintain the pavements. And here is the offending paving slab.
If we can establish that they've not been round and they've not been inspecting and maintaining the highways, then we are going to be successful. In Mr Morgan's case in particular, we managed to obtain witness evidence from local residents who could say, yes, the defect has been there over 12 months. I know this because of such and such an event. They were all able to tie this particular defect to an event which allowed us to establish an amount of time, how long it had been there really. And that's why his claim has been successful, because evidence like that is crucial to claims like this and it is very, very difficult for the council to get over.
Wythenshawe-based solicitors Tranters have had a major shock, not from a client, but from senior advocate Dave O'Reilly. He's decided to leave the company and strike out on his own. He's just got the keys for his new offices in Manchester city centre.
Well, as you can see, this is me in new surroundings now. I've left Tranters Solicitors to basically work for myself. I've set up my own little firm, and this is where we're going to be based for the time being.
Right. And how come you left then?
Basically, I've reached a stage in my career now where I took the decision to set myself up and try and go on further in my career. Obviously, I think everybody reaches a stage at whatever firm they're at that maybe they've reached a certain level and can go no further. And so I just wanted, now I've gained a lot of experience, I wanted to take it further and, as I say, try and build up my own practice now.
One of your senior guys left whilst we were filming,
Yeah.
Dave O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Now, our impression was that you really weren't very happy about that.
About him leaving? I don't know where you got an impression that I wasn't happy about him leaving. The only concerns we have if somebody leaves is that obviously they respect the fact that our client base is our clients, and it's like any business. But no, far from being unhappy on a personal level, I wish that individual all the very best and success in his own business. And that's fine, because I, many years ago, started my own practice, my own business, and I think good luck to anybody who's got the initiative and gumption to do that. So I wished him well, and I wish him good fortune in the future. So there's no real, I don't have any hang-ups about that, the slightest.
And is there any sort of like, any part of you thinking, you know, I wish things had been a bit different in the departure and it was a bit more sort of relaxed, or was it, I think it was always going to be the case?
Yeah, well, I think unfortunately the timing of it was the problem. In that, you know, I handed my notice in, and then Mr. Tranter had to think about how to do things and how he wanted to approach things. And once he eventually came to that decision, he gave me sort of very short notice as to when I could leave. Well, on the day he said I could go. So we left, and then we got in over the weekend to set this up. It could have been done much better, I think. You know, I'm certainly sorry that we didn't get the chance to go around and see a lot of the people that we'd have liked to say goodbye to. But like I say, we will have a leaving do, and hopefully we'll get a few people out for a drink.
If the roles were reversed and you were Steve Tranter, what do you think you'd be feeling?
I think, I would hope from Steve Tranter's point of view, he will be thinking that he's lost an experienced solicitor, someone who was running one of his offices for him, and again I would hope he would think it was quite well. And that he would, you know, be feeling the loss rather than anything else. I don't intend to cause him any harm in any way. But I think that's the only way I'll affect him, because I'd been there for 3.5 years, worked very hard at it, got the office into a good position, I would hope. But like I say, I've made the decision now, and I want to get this office now in the same position, if not better.
Previously, on Wythenshawe Law, we met Jennifer Vicharek, a young lady who'd had an accident at work.
I work at the airport, and he was working in a cafe, and I was actually asked to work in the kitchen because they were short-staffed. So I agreed reluctantly to go and work in the kitchen, and I was carrying some old tomatoes to go and throw in the waste disposal, and I just slipped on the floor, and I fell, and I banged my cheek and my shoulder, and a metal bin fell on top of me as well.
So how was it you slipped? You said the floor was wet?
Yeah, the floor was wet, and there was no wet floor sign up.
The next stage of her personal injury claim is a medical assessment.
Hi Jennifer, would you like to come through, please? Kim.
Trying to come through? Yes. Right, so this is Jennifer. Come and take a seat. So I've been asked to see you by your solicitor to provide a medical report regarding your injury, which I'm told was from the 15th of July last year. I'm going to start by feeling along the bony bits of your neck, all right?
Yeah.
I want you to tell me if any are sore. I'm just going to move your shoulders, tell me if there's any pain anywhere. Happy with that?
Yeah.
And here. And if I bring it to here, any trouble? Okay. Show me your hands. You feel me touching you all right? Okay. Right. Squeeze tight. Okay, that's fine. Ear towards the shoulder and go the other way. Any trouble with that?
More this side. I can't go any further that side.
Okay. Okay. Best efforts touching your toes for me. Both hands, like when you were at school? Yeah, okay. So you're about 3 centimetres short. Was that sore?
Yeah.
I'm just going to give your hips a quick wiggle just to see if there's any pain. All right? Any trouble there? Okay, I'm just going to lift the leg up in the air. Any trouble with that? Anything you want to add?
No, I don't think so.
No? That's fine. Okay, well, we'll let you go.
Okay.
Right.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. I'll follow her to the door and open the door. Sorry.
How did it go, Jay?
I think it went okay. He seemed to cover everything that I thought they'd cover. So
What were you hoping to hear yesterday when you got here?
I was just hoping really to find out when I'd be better, because I can't be going to physio every week.
How have you been feeling over the last few weeks anyway?
Well, going to the physio, I felt a bit better. So it's okay at the moment, but I mean, I'm just getting better, really.
Fellow claimant Ella Timmins is at the end of her claim. She's about to get the cheque for her compensation case after an accident outside a cafe.
Well, today we're giving Mrs Timmins a cheque for part of the damages following what was a successful result. You'll recall that we went to the conference with the barrister, and after that we did negotiate another £3,000 in damages. So Mrs Timmins wished to accept that. We settled and accepted that. The Friday before the trial was due to start on the Tuesday. Well, thank you for coming in.
My pleasure.
I think I'd better sign the cheque first.
That's a good idea.
What would you say to somebody out there who is thinking about coming to a solicitor because they've fallen and they're not too sure?
I would say go for it. It's well worth it. It's hard, it's not easy, but it's well worth it in the end, because you do get a reward. After all your suffering and trauma, it does make some sense out of it. Just one of those things.
And it never is quite enough. It's not the same.
No, my life will never be the same. It's been a life-changing experience, but I'm very grateful for what you've done for me and appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. That is appreciated.
Is that it?
I think that's it.
Former Tranters senior advocate Dave O'Reilly has left the firm and set up on his own in Manchester city centre. 6 months have passed since he first opened for business.
So what have you been doing today? Now for 6 months?
Working hard, basically. Obviously, when you last came, we'd set ourselves up to work in our own little firm. Just take you into the office now. We've had to move into a bigger office. Same building, but just a bigger office. Just so we could fit everything in and have the space we needed. Come on in.
It was May the 4th when you first moved to your new premises. What's changed then?
Well, as I say, first of all, we've had to move into the bigger office here. I think since you came and seen us last, we've taken a girl on to work in the office for us. So she's doing a lot of the administrative stuff, and she also comes to court with us as well to help out when we're busy down at court. Initially, it was the setting up of the business and everything that was involved in that. And now it's just the maintaining of it. Like I say, we have to do as many call slots as we can. Like I said, the other weekend we were basically on call all weekend, and to a great extent we're on call 24/7 for our own clients who may get arrested at any time during the day. We bump into the Tranters employees, obviously, who we used to work with, and we're still good friends with some of them. We still go out for something to eat and something to drink and what have you. So yeah, you still see the same old faces around.
Next time, on the final episode of Wythenshawe Law, James Lawler's drug case draws to a close, and what's happened to the other clients we've met in the last 7 weeks. If you'd like more information about the issues raised in this programme, go to our website. At Minshull Street Court in Manchester, client James Lawler is facing prison after being arrested on serious drugs charges. Today, he expects to hear exactly what's going to happen to him.
Well, I'm here today to be sentenced. It's a guilty plea. So, just take it from there. But all being well, I should be getting sentenced today.
What do you think will happen? What are you expecting?
12 to 18 months.
Really?
Seriously.
How do you feel?
Crap. But you know, it's one of those things, isn't it?
That's quite a long time. Have you been down for that long before?
No. No.
How did you feel last night knowing you had this?
I've not slept. No, I feel alright. It's one of them. I was expecting it anyway, so it's not like it's going to be a shock when I go in there. I'm working now. So, well, I just hope I get to keep my job, you know, once I go in here, like.
Oh, brilliant. What's your job?
Vehicle disposal. So, I like it, I enjoy it as well. It's something I like, I've always done anyway, so it's always car related. And, you know, I'm enjoying it at the minute because I've not worked for that long. Now that I'm back in, I'm getting back into it, I'm really enjoying it, so.
How long do you have the job for then?
3 weeks today.
So what might happen if this goes ahead?
Then I'll lose my job. But my boss he's aware of my court date today. I told him from the start, the minute he gave me the job. So look, I've got to be honest with you, I love my hands up. I've got a court of pain and said I might be going to jail. And he just went, right, well, not a problem. But he's given me a letter today to give me a barrister today, you know, saying that my job's open for me and he'd like to keep me on. So it's like I just said to myself, you know, I'm going in there today expecting 12 to 18 months, and I just said to you then straight away that when I come out, you know, chances are if my job's still not open, then I'll probably go back to what I was doing before then, you know.
You're being honest, aren't you?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's the only way, innit? You know, there's no point kidding myself any longer, is there? I've done that for God knows how many years.
It's like the justice system isn't really...
No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Meanwhile, another client is waiting for altogether better news.
Hi, Jennifer, would you like to come through, please? Kim?
Trying to come through? Right, so this is Jennifer.
Previously on Wythenshawe Law, we met former airport employee Jennifer Vicharek, who was injured in an accident at work.
I work at the airport and he was working in a cafe, and I was actually asked to work in the kitchen because they were short-staffed. So I agreed reluctantly to go and work in the kitchen, and I was carrying some old tomatoes to go and throw in the waste disposal, and I just slipped on the floor and I fell and I banged my cheek and my shoulder, and a metal bin fell on top of me as well.
So how was it you slipped? You said the floor was wet?
Yeah, the floor was wet and there was no wet floor sign up.
Ear towards the shoulder and go the other way. Any trouble with that?
more this side. I can't go any further that side.
Okay.
Today, Jennifer is due to get her compensation check, just in time for a new life at university.
Hi Jennifer, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Last time, hopefully.
Yeah.
Follow me. Sorry about the mess. We've got a bit of office removal going on. We've opened the floor downstairs. You know where you came in for the first interview?
Yes.
We've sort of changed that all around and a lot of people are moving downstairs. I keep forgetting which office I'm in. I'm only moving into this one this week. Have a seat.
Thank you.
Now, the nice part of the claim for you.
Yep.
Here we go. I've done the letter and everything.
Okay.
It's in an envelope, but I've not sealed it because there's just a receipt I'd like you to sign.
Okay.
There's a pen in there. No expense spared.
Thank you.
It's either a pen or a clock, but the clocks don't seem to work. Right, the check's... I've stapled the check to the back there. Can you just check the amount and then there's a receipt. No, the receipt's loose.
What date is it?
It's 26th. It's 13 months since you first came in.
Yep.
I was checking earlier.
To the day?
No, well, not quite. It was the 23rd of July you came in, so 13 months all in.
Right.
Not a bad result.
Nope, not at all.
So it's all in there?
Yep, it's all here.
Is it exactly what you expected?
Yeah, because, I mean, we'd already discussed the amount, and so we decided that it was just time to close it down, so...
Do you want to tell us how much you got?
No, I don't, not really.
But as far as spending it now, how you can get, what can you get from uni with that? How far will it help you?
I got a lot more than I expected. And it's around about the amount that I get for my student loan. So it's enough.
So it'll really help them,
Definitely. Yeah. It'll just be behind me anyway, in case I can get all the things that I need.
All in all, with Jennifer, it went quite well, really. I knew, I think, as soon as she walked in that it would be a winning claim. I mean, cases against employers usually are pretty much, ones you can bank on. She was a very, very cooperative client. She did everything. Whenever I asked her, whenever I'd phone her up, she would, take the call, answer correspondence, which is usually the case, but unfortunately not always. And so it is nice when clients go along with what you're trying to do. The defendants, on the other hand, were a bit tricky. They were not answering correspondence, not providing me with the documents I was entitled to, and so on. So I had to go about it the long way, really, and make an application against them for a court order. And that did the trick, and they admitted liability. And then it was just really a matter of getting her medically examined. That went pretty much without incident, really. Fairly straightforward injury, and she did quite well out of it. They made an offer initially, which she was prepared to accept, actually, but I just sort of, being the greedy sort of person I am, I chanced my arm a little bit and got her a few extra £100, which I'm sure will come in handy.
Back at court, James Lawler's solicitor has news on his drugs case.
What happened was, his pre-sentence report hasn't been prepared because James didn't attend for his appointment with the probation services. And so the case hasn't been sentenced today. James hasn't been sentenced, and his case has been adjourned for a further 3 weeks for the pre-sentence reports to be prepared by the probation services. The judge will then use that report as information in order to decide what the best sentence is. James has been remanded into custody, into prison for 3 weeks, whilst those reports are being prepared. So his bail has been revoked and he's been sent to prison whilst those reports are being prepared. That's not any indication of what will happen in the end anyway. It's just so that those reports can be prepared in the meantime, and so there's no further delays in the proceedings.
James Lawler's previous solicitor was senior advocate Dave O'Reilly. He's since left the firm and set up his own practice.
We've been set up now for near enough 6 months. We've been in this building. So we're doing okay up to now.
It's a long time, it seems.
Well, it seems a long time, but it's flown. Obviously, we've been doing an awful lot of work, and the time has passed really quickly. You wouldn't believe it was 6 months. It only seems a few days ago that we were actually moving into the other office that we had in this building.
And has it gone how you thought it would go?
Yeah, it has. It's probably gone slightly better than we thought at this stage. In the work, we're slightly busier than we'd hoped to be. To the extent whereby we've had to move into this different office than when we moved into this building. So things have certainly picked up. I wasn't forced out by any stretch of the imagination, really. It was my decision. As I say, certain things had been perhaps not promised to me, but there were discussions about how I was going to progress, but it didn't transpire. Then at the end of last year, for reasons that obviously Steve will only know, he gave out a lot of redundancy notices with regards to people within the firm, one of which was to Lisa, my girlfriend. It wasn't as bad as it sounds, in that the majority of people merely had to reapply for their own jobs again. But that helped to make my mind up as well. I didn't feel as secure as I had done. And that, combined with the sort of disillusionment as to where I was going in the firm, led to me to make the decision that I was going to have a go on my own. Working hard, but really enjoying it. The people we're representing, I understand, are happy with the representation we're giving them. So I'm enjoying it. It is hard work, and it's going to be hard work for the next 6 to 12 months anyway. But it's definitely a good decision.
Baby, I'm spinning around. Move out of my way. I know you're feeling it 'cause you like it like this. I'm breaking it down. I'm not the same.
105.4 Century FM. Radio you just have to sing along to.
Sally, you're not eating again. What's wrong?
I'm fine. Can I go now?
Thousands of children desperately need someone to turn to. Please call this number now and help the NSPCC be there for them.
Make mini movies on your mobile. Send them to your friends and get loads of minutes too. Turtles are great.
Come with me into Botany Bay, where everything's changing. There's a huge new Christmas shop with traditional and modern decorations, lights, trees and gift wrapping, a growing garden centre, a colourful home outlet, a new kitchen shop, furnishings, bedding, stylish furniture and antiques.
There's a family restaurant and cafe, Puddletown Pirates for the children.
And the new membership card allows unlimited entry to Botany Bay and Bygone Times for a whole year. There are 5 enormous floors to